Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to tell you how I opened up multiple businesses and how to keep your employees motivated when you can't always be there. And that's coming up right now. Basically, I could open up any company that I want, any type of business that I want. I knew I could make it work because I could, get it ranked up high in the search engines and do the SEO and you name it, whatever I wanted, I could do it. I wanted a little project for, my wife to do. She likes to keep busy and she didn't want to not work or anything like that. And so I got the dyeing business, and also we signed a prenup before we got married. I wanted her to have something that she was part of. My business was, she was precluded from that because, I was existing already before we got married, and, it was mine if we got divorced or anything like that, which we weren't even thinking about, but, it was mine. And I wanted to build something together that was ours. And I like helping people. I like to build different businesses, okay? Because I realized, like when I was a little kid, that if you had more businesses, then you'd have more income. And how did that happen when I was a little kid? Well, my grandma always used to say, he's going to be rich someday. How do you know that? He's always got money in his pockets. Like wherever he gets it, change from the, couch, or I don't know where I got it, but I always had money in my pockets, a little change or something for a little kid, even as like a 2-year-old. And my mom used to take me to the circus every year for my birthday. One time I saw the Asian guy at the circus. I know that doesn't narrow it down. They have like the gymnasts and all that stuff too. But this is the guy that puts a stick up and he spins a plate on the stick, and then he's got to put another one up and he spins it, then another one. And pretty soon he's got like, 10 or 20 sticks with plates spinning on all of them. And that was a lot of hard work. But after he got them all spinning, then all he's got to do is just go back around and just keep making sure they're spinning. He doesn't have to, it's not as much work. He's just got to maintain it. So that's when I realized I've always been entrepreneurial, that, I could have a bunch of things going on at the same time and I'd have different, income streams. And so that could work out good. Like let's say you have a seasonal business, right? You have a business that works good in the summer. You have a business that works good in the winter. They can carry each other during the off seasons. So that works out good. Now, the problem with owning different companies is not everybody works like it's their own company. Not everybody puts forth the same, effort. Some people just don't care, about the job. Some people do. Sometimes you find that rare person that they're a good worker, they'll work hard. I was like that. I always wanted my boss to think, wow, what a good, worker this guy is, whatever, and value me, and maybe they'll give you a raise or something, and work your way up like that. But some people just think they need more money, they deserve more money, and they don't want to work hard. You can tell they don't want to be there when they take your order, that type of thing. They don't deserve more money. They don't deserve the job. It should be there for somebody who, wants it. It's hard to find people like that. There's not a lot of them out there. There are some, but so I found out a way to do it though. If they have some sort of interest in the business, then they're more motivated because it's their business, okay? So let's say that I want an electrical company. I'm not an electrician. I'd fry myself. But if I found an electrician who works, is a good worker, good electrician, and he's sick of working for his boss. He wants to have his own business, but he's just not a good businessman. He just knows how to do the work. Well, I'm a good businessman and I can get the business, I can build the business, and I can promote it and make it take off. Because that's the big thing is if you don't have the customers, now you just gave up your good paying job and you're sitting around waiting for nobody to come. Or you spend more money than you make on the customers. Well, I know I can make that part work. So I just find a guy like that to do it, and I approach him and say, hey, would you like to own your own business? And we'll be partners 50-50. I'll do all the business work, whatever. You do the the electrical work or whatever, and that's how that works. And I'll give you a story about that. There was a guy who, he was an old Greek guy, and he was a baker, he owned a bakery. He was kind of old for doing it anymore, and he wanted to retire, and he wanted to bring his son over from Greece and have his son, teach him the business, have him run the company. But his son was like, look, I'm on a beach every day in Greece. I don't want to come there and get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, time to make the donuts. And he didn't want to do it. And plus, he only made like $60,000 a year. So he just didn't really want to do it. I said, well, look, what if you partner up with me? You give me half the business. I'll promote it and build it up. And then you'll have something to share with your son. And he was like, I can't do that, because I only make $60,000 a year now, and I can't give you $30,000. Then I live on half that. I'm like, no, you're not looking at it right. The goal would be to make a lot more than what you're making now, than the $60,000 that you're making now. So he's like, well, I don't know. I just can't really do that. I'm like, look, I had gotten to know the guy, and we were kind of friends, and so I don't offer a guarantee. I can't offer a guarantee to everybody, but for this guy, I said, you know what? I'll guarantee you if we don't make at least double what you're making now, so $120,000, so that your half is at least $60,000, then it's all a free gift. In other words, if I dump $85,000 in pay-per-click advertising and marketing and different things, website and all that, and you don't make at least $120,000 to where your half is $60,000, then it was all a free gift. And he's like, well, okay, then where do I sign for that? So we did that. And we ended up making a lot more money than that. Definitely in the 7 figures from 60,000. So that's a lot more donuts. It wasn't all donuts. Because one of my other companies is a wedding planning service. So I got him to do the wedding cakes for the weddings. And some of those cakes can get pretty extravagant. They can be like $2,500. And really, it only costs like $10 at most for like the sugar and the flour and stuff like that. So, he was good at what he did, and it worked out good. And in fact, what happened was he ended up, we split it for the first 4 years. After that, I sold the rest to he brought his son over, taught his son the business, he retired. And 4 years later, I sold my half of the company back to his son. So everybody was happy. It worked out great. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I like doing and building businesses. So if I can find somebody to do it, it works out for, both of us. So I thought, well, I'll do that with her. And then we'll both have something to share, and so she had a friend who was into birds. She was a bird breeder. And it's so funny. She even talks like a bird. She talks like Tweety Bird. But she's a nice lady, and I wanted to help her. I wanted to do something for my wife and have something together. So I thought I'll open up a bird store, and then, because it didn't matter how crazy the idea is, I can make it work, And actually that worked out fantastic. We were selling all kinds of birds. We were shipping them out of state. It wasn't too far from O'Hare Airport. So every day we were making shipments to O'Hare Airport and shipping off birds. We were selling African grays. That was probably our number one seller. Those are like $600 or $700, and they cost us like $200, and we were selling lots of them every month and shipping them out. The big like blue and gold macaws and scarlet macaws, hyacinth macaws, those things sell for like $10,000, $15,000. And we were just shipping them out all around the world. That was in a lot of local customers as well. And that was doing great. Now, the lady wasn't much of a business person or a store manager that much, so that didn't work out too well. I had opened it to give my wife something to do besides work at the store, and something that she could put herself into that was partly hers. Turns out, because it was starting, I was opening it and it needs a lot of work, that I was doing the work and she was working at the diamond store, and I was doing all the work with the birds. And it became so bad that I got allergic to the birds from all the bird dust and dander and stuff. But when I picked out the store, the location for the store, there was an exotic bird vet right there, and there was a place open there for rent. And I'm like, that's it, perfect, because people will go there to bring their birds. They're bird lovers and animal lovers. They'll go to the vet there, and then while their animals or birds are getting looked at, they can shop at our place. Well, we ended up getting psittacosis, which is like a bird disease, from that. And then the state shut us down for having that. And then it was hard to get going again, after that, because it was a big loss. A lot of birds died. You have to just completely quarantine it for months. And the expenses are still there. We had birds that were being hand fed. It was just a lot. But we also, at the time, opened up right next to it a puppy store. And that did great. People were coming from all around to buy the puppies and stuff. We had like the PETA people and stuff come out. Like sometimes you see them protesting at different pet stores and stuff. They couldn't find anything wrong with this. I did it right. My goal was to do it right. And so I had a special quarantine area for new puppies when they came in, so you didn't just put them with the other ones. And the ventilation systems, I wasn't going to let that bird thing happen, with this. Different ventilation systems and for different parts of the, of the area. I had a big staff that was, taking care of everything. And all the breeders that I bought from were really good. I would go out personally and inspect the breeders before I bought from them, so it wouldn't be anybody that's on like one of their, puppy mill list or whatever. So people from PETA would come out, or those type people, and they're like, we expected to come out and find a whole bunch of stuff and a bunch of bad stuff and pick at you and whatever, but honestly, we couldn't find anything. You're doing a good job. Keep up the good work, and that's hard to get from that kind of, for them to admit that, because they don't like, pet stores in the first place, Anyway, so then what happened was the landlord lost the building. The new guy that got the building wanted to put an Italian restaurant there. And I won't mention any names, but they wanted to put an Italian restaurant there. So they didn't want the puppy store or the bird store there anymore, whatever. And then I could have just found another location and reopened it, but man, that was so much work, and I only did it to have something for my wife, to call hers or whatever, and I was doing all the work. So it's like, you know what? I'm not going to keep doing this anymore. So I let that go. Well, guys, if you're still watching, you must have liked the video. And if you did, give it a like. Now, if you want to see more like this, subscribe and click the bell. If you got some extra time on your hands, why not watch another one? You can choose one from the Stories of My Life playlist, which will appear here after I disappear. Or you could watch the next one in the series, which will also appear here. See you in the next one.